Hey everyone, it's Wahome from Wahome Gitonga Coaching. Hope you all have an amazing Sunday. You've had a good weekend. Welcome to another episode of Business Conversations, where we interview the most successful people from a variety of industries, from business authors to entrepreneurs to influencers, coaches, and various other people. Well, today I'm delighted to have Hadi Naqui, who's a multi business owner that's been really successful in a variety of different businesses. So he's going to be sharing with us today his experience, his story, and how he's managed to create successful businesses. So without further ado, let me welcome Hadi. Okay. Hey Hadi, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? You all right?
I find you. Good to have you on
Very
here.
good. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. I'll forgive me for this. I'll just correct my name. It's Hadi Naqui.
Sorry,
Like
Hadi Naqui.
that's absolutely fine. It's a forgettable name. So call me the tycoon.
So we'll go to the first question, Hadi.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself. What was your background, and how did you decide to get into your multiple businesses?
My background. So again, where do you want me to start? I can start with my Naqui. Let's go through it properly. So being a graduate
Yeah.
and then getting into the world of work, I started in sales to begin with, recruitment consultancy, so on and so forth, learning new skills. And of course, when you get out of university, that's when you really do start your learning
Hmm.
because you're now learning the things that will help you along the way as well. Don't get me wrong, university education, academics, all well and good, but it's a never-ending treadmill. You're
Hmm.
constantly developing yourself. And as the world changes, you're staying with the world or going ahead of the curve. So developing your mindset to be that way. Um, I, when we're talking about background, so in sales and being a graduate still didn't stop me from getting made redundant. So being made redundant twice, I got into minicabin and I thought, okay, well, I
Hmm.
need to get out of this and I need a proper stable career. So my mentor at the time showed me, look, get into mortgages. If you get into mortgages, then all that's going to happen, short and simple, is that even if you're not in a job, you're
Hmm.
going to have a career. So that's what I done. So while it was quiet, nighttime, take out the books, start studying, self-study. Within a year, I got my mortgage certificate and then got into the world of mortgages.
Hmm. So yeah? So what was the idea behind your business then? Like,
So with mortgages, basically, again, we'll talk about the other businesses in a couple of moments, but with mortgages, it was just so that I could have a platform where, heaven forbid, if I was out of a job, I could pick up and go. I already had that with minicab driving as well, while I was constantly learning and still making good money and making ends meet. So, no matter what, I wasn't relying upon handouts per se or sitting at home, woe be me, what's going to be happening here? But that's because I was doing a lot of self-studying when I was in sales. And a lot of self-studying that I'd done involved things like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki's stuff,
yeah.
Brian Tracy, Psychology of Selling, Tony Robbins. So developing that sort of mindset that will keep me geared through. Um, Also, physical activities like martial arts, where you've got this is your goal, this is what you got to achieve, and this is how you got to do it to get there. So doing these kinds of things would always have positive uh, influences to make sure
Hmm.
that you wouldn't fall to the wayside and always be able to find a way forward.
And so if you just elaborate, so why did you decide to do like all these multiple businesses, and like what is it?
Because I'm a firm believer in having multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm also one of those believers that also is, listen, you can have one core thing, but if that falls, then what's going to happen next? And I suffered that when I got made redundant from sales. So I had to pick up a way and find a way of keeping myself going. I'm a strong believer in mitigating risk. So the less risk you have, the more safer you feel, the better it is for you. You can still have the lifestyle that you want to have without taking as much, much pressure or much risks if you've got multiple things giving you multiple streams of income.
I'm totally agree with that. It's very important to have different income revenues. Um, so In terms of your brand new vision, what do you think it sets you apart from other mortgage advisors or other people doing the same sort of businesses as you are?
You've got to have a lot of factors that goes with it. So one of the key factors is empathy. Understanding what the client's situation is and being able to know that, look, they're coming to you because you're the last line of, how can I put this, to help them. The last way how you can help them. People don't go to mortgage advisors who are broken if they've got everything okay, there's no issues. They can go to their bank. They'll come to a broker if there's a real problem, age, credit. They're looking for multiple multiple things like bridging loans. You may not be able to get that at a bank. You may have to have a stretch of income, so you have to go to maybe a building society as opposed to being at a bank. These are examples.
Yeah.
And having that empathy and being able to understand also puts the client at ease as well, because they know that they're going to be that you're working for them. You're going to look to find a solution for them, as opposed to, sorry, I have to pass you on. So if you give that client a bit of hope as well, because you feel confident that you can help them, your client's always going to be forever grateful to you. So that also helps set me apart. It's to never say, okay, I'll give up now at the first hurdle. There's a solution to everything.
Yeah, I think it's really important, as you were saying, to have your clients at your center of your business and really understand what their needs are and really have that empathy for your clients, and then to be able to provide like solutions for the clients, because not everyone does that. Some people just do it based on what they think is best.
Yeah,
listen to the client.
Yeah, it's a cookie cutter situation, and unfortunately, if the clients do not fit into that, that shape, then out they go. And the thing is, the real world is that many clients don't fit into a particular bracket. Not everyone's going to have clean credit. Not everyone's going to have, the income sources coming from a job. They may have it from multiple areas. So you got to find ways around it.
Definitely, I totally agree with you there. So what do you wish you had known when you first started out that you know now?
That's a difficult one, because again, we're always learning along the way. And not only that, but times also change too. So maybe I wish I'd learned how to do more SEO, e-commerce stuff, which is one of the other businesses that I do. Because funny enough, on the mortgage side, other things came about: social media marketing, learning search engine optimization, those kind of things. And again, me and you, we're very similar. We know Adam Stott, so we were doing things off our back naturally, and then getting that little bit of mastery, that little bit of coaching to say, right, okay, try these things. Then that helps build up a business. Taking those risks, but again, you react at the time of what's going to be happening. So, if I look back into when I actually got into mortgages, I got in at the peak of the market in 2006. Come 2007 and 2008, the crash happened. So maybe I could have gone to something else. But, I'm glad that I went into it at the right time, because I survived through it. I'm still here now. Many advisors disappeared. They're gone. The industry actually reduced from over 400,000 advisors at that peak down to just under 50,000 now. So, quite a change.
Yeah, I think you're highlighting two things there that most business owners should be aware of: is the need of social media and to have a good understanding of how to really market themselves on social media. And then also then persistence, like as you're saying, like to have that persistence, like to not give up. Like you could have quit and done something else, but you persevered while other mortgage advisors of people like quit and gave up. And now you're being successful, and that's what it's all about in terms of being, fighting through the hard times.
It's also understanding your environment as well. And the reason why I say that is because if you really look at financial services as a sector, it's a wide sector. It's large. You can go into many different areas, not just mortgages. I've done international financial advising. I went to Geneva, was in Basel, Zurich, those kind of areas, doing advice on things like pensions and investments. So it's a huge area. Even if you move out the mortgage side, you're still within the financial services. You can stay in that sector for a long period of time and always provide you with an income. Again, as the financial services environment is about constantly professionally developing yourself. So you have to stay ahead of the curve. Last week's, if you're out of the curve for like 3 months, your knowledge is obsolete. You have to understand what's going on. And the same thing with social media marketing and as well as SEO work. The industry for a little bit of time, it's moved so quickly. Twitter is one of the best examples.
I totally agree with you. So what do you think has been the biggest challenge you personally faced and when you were starting now? How did you overcome it?
Well, basically, it actually happened to me around a year and a half ago, my biggest challenge, which was, this is a little bit on the personal side, but I've done a great job for a client, got them their mortgage, got everything sorted out. They still hadn't paid me my fee. They put in the complaint deliberately so that way I could not get my fee from them. And that, for me, not having had a complaint in over 10 years of me doing this, doing the job, it was a bit of a knockback. So how did I get out of it? Well, you change your focus. Your focus has to be, okay, now you start reevaluating what you need to do. You may look at certain hobbies that you do. How do you turn it into an income? And this is where, Rockstar Social came about. Adam starts coaching because he actually helped. It just came about at the right time. And from there, I developed into a digital marketer. So I learned about Facebook ads and Instagram ads, all these other things as well. Originally, it was there to help my other business. It was going to help me with the mortgage, but it was also going to help me with one of my side projects, which is professional wrestling. So within the British professional wrestling industry, I'm known as the Tycoon, which is the pro wrestling manager for this pretty much this era. And it's it's a dying art. So to keep myself going, I need to get my influence up via social media. So learning the tips and the techniques that were taught, especially the implementation side of things, helped me overcome many barriers. So it got me more clients, it got me more bookings, it kept on the income coming in. So as the income fell from one area, the income rose from another because I was able to tap into those markets. And again, then developing that into a proper business, I got hired to work for a company called Vision Gain as a contractor. So doing digital marketing there, where we're doing business reports.
That's a good point. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for, I think you're highlighting the need of being able to diversify and also be able to not get knocked by challenges that you face and be able to still, find solutions and different ways to still generate money and provide a service.
Don't get me wrong. You will, when you're going through it, it hurts. And if there's no one around you to coach you or mentor you out of it, or you've got nowhere to rely on, then that really hurts. So it's important to have mentors. It's important to have a coach. It's important to have the right things being given to you all the time so you can get through the difficult challenges which are out there.
I totally agree with you. And I think a lot of people underestimate the importance of a coach because maybe they feel that they can do it by themselves or they don't know what to look like this if they don't know what they're doing. But a coach, especially a successful coach, can be really vital and take them to the next level.
There is a real, I would say, a stigma attached with coaching because basically what people fail to realize is behind a very successful person, there's always someone who's done it, been there, and can give that guidance. So as an example, Bill Gates, well, his mentor is Warren Buffett. So in one area, they found their own sort of mentors to guide them, into multiple, not just in their core business, but to branch out even more.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's really vital that everyone has a coach. So how has the business grown for you over the past few months?
It's grown well. I've turned from an individual to a company, which has been really handy. And again, from doing that, it's given me a lot more freedom to now start hiring people. So in the next coming months, I'll be able to get more people underneath me. That way I can grow my business even more through leverage-based principles. And then go into more of a mentor management role as opposed to just a pure advisor, which is what I've always wanted. And again, I do another business too, which is a utility warehouse. So that also teaches a lot of principles via network marketing, how to actually grow, develop a team and make sure you manage them.
Mm. And what do you think has been the unique skill that's allowed you to become successful?
Could you repeat that again? What's unique skills?
Yeah, what has been the unique skill that's allowed you to become successful?
Adaptability.
Mm.
Keeping an open mind is one of the biggest things out there. Your mind only works if it's open. And that's the same principle as if you have a parachute. If the parachute doesn't open up, it doesn't work. The same with your mind. You have to be open to many, many different ideas. Some of them will be out there, wacky, zany, but if you change it just enough so it fits your mindset, you can maybe use an idea to benefit you. And then there's also conventional ideas that you may have disregarded because it was set in the past. Well, you know what? Good advice is timeless. So, as an example, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Go back and revisit those books. Earl Nightingale's, the secret of success, the key to success. Go back and revisit those kinds of teachings. Brian Tracy's Psychology of Selling. It's universal, it's timeless. Go back and revisit it. Because again, your mind is also like a garden too. If you don't feed it with the right things, weeds are going to grow. And those weeds will attack your confidence.
So that's beautiful. I totally agree with you. Like the importance of feeding your mind, investing in your own education development, often gets overlooked, especially by a lot of people especially when it comes to like budgeting their salary at the end of the month. They don't really factor in, okay, well, do I have money to really develop myself and grow myself? Or am I doing things that's feeding my mind to keep growing?
Well, yeah, and money is one big thing. Don't get me wrong there. If you want the best quality advice, you have to pay for it. The reason being, if you get it for free, you disregard it because you can discard anything that's free. Free advice is not necessarily sometimes the best advice. You have to sometimes seek out the right advice for you too, and that can come at a cost. But having said that, as a principle to get started, sometimes you do have to go for the freebie ones. YouTube or the mentors who are out there who say, look, my mentor actually told me when I was doing mini cabin, get into mortgages. It's a good lifestyle. You can do it this way, and you'll be able to survive no matter what happens. So, he guided me along the way. But in order for me to get the mortgage certificate, I had to pay for it. I had to go out there and do the self-study, and that was at a cost because I'm seeking out the knowledge that's now going to start paying me. The same thing with some of the other things that are out there. So, but again, we'll start if you've got cost issues, start with something for free.
That's very good advice. So what is it that motivates you and drives you to keep going forward and be successful?
Being the best. I want to be number one. I've always come from the principle of, look, if you're at the top, then it doesn't matter about the money. You're always going to get the money. You're going to be supported and all the rest of it. If you're at the top, it may be lonely, but you'll be remembered. You may have that way of, you may come down, but you've been there. You can actually go out there and say, look, I've reached the top of the mountain. Whether it is even in income as well. And that's been my mindset. It's always to be at the top of the leadership boards, have the Mont Blanc pens and all the rest of that kind of stuff, all the nice trappings of success that comes with being classed as the best.
I think it is like to have that goal of, want to be the best in your field is definitely a good motivator. Because you want to, be looking upwards always and not looking down, focusing on people who are around you, but looking at who are the people that dominate in your industry, who are the market share and how they've done it, and then learn from that to then ensure that you grow yourself.
Exactly. And I'll give this advice to the same advice that you've given me and to all the listeners at the moment, I had too. And that's what made me become the best in other fields. Again, when I was doing it at British Gas, it didn't stop me from getting made redundant. But being able to have that kind of advice led me to pick myself back up and move forward again, in the other areas I took up. So it's sometimes about being smart as well, not having to work as hard.
So what's been the key to building a strong relationship with your clients?
What's been the key to building a strong relationship with clients?
Yeah.
Communication is one of the key things, but communication has to be structured communication, and also it has to be honest. Honesty is sometimes so damn difficult. If a client can't get a mortgage based upon certain issues, it could be the lender, it could be their credit, it could be they missed a payment, then you have to have that conversation with them. And it's a difficult conversation to have because they've already put their faith into you. But having said that, if you don't have that conversation, it's going to drag out and it's going to be far worse for you, because there's a way of having these kind of conversations. And also on top of that, try and find a solution. Don't leave it on, sorry, I can't help you, that's it, done. Bang. It could be a matter of, look, I can help you, but I can't do it now. You have to wait 6 months. You have to rebuild your credit. You have to build up some income. You have to do this. There's lenders coming to the market, so on and so forth. You have to give that hope, but not false hope. It has to be based upon the real things that are happening at the moment. So hence why you've got to stay in contact with your industry and how it's developing. You know, like what we said a bit earlier with freebie stuff. You can get free Google news subscriptions based upon your industry sent to you. So that will help you, your continuous professional development. You're not paying anything except with your time, but it will keep you in the know. It will keep your knowledge up.
I think it's vital to have that strong, honest communication channel with your clients, so that you can really build those strong relationships, and not mislead your clients, so that they know what they're getting with you and they have that consistency from your service. And that allows you to then be different from other people, because they know exactly who you are, what they're getting from you, and what kind of services you can provide. So what advice would you give to people who are hoping to start a business, but they're too afraid to take that first action step?
Well, this is me. This is exactly me. Okay, unfortunately, I got thrown into it because there's something called the laws of attraction. If you weren't bad enough, with enough feeling, one or two things are going to happen. Either one, you're going to make it happen, or two, events are going to happen around you that will force you into a situation where things will happen. With me, I wanted to become a mortgage advisor, but it was really bad. I didn't know how to go about it. So getting made redundant put me into that position where I did become that mortgage advisor. So that's one thing. But another way of doing it is, again, how I would, if I could start it all over again, I'll do it as Robert Kiyosaki says. Have a part-time business alongside your full-time job. Learn the part-time business to get strong enough and competent enough. And there's a lot of people that will actually have their profession that they're working full-time as an employee, will do a part-time business within that profession. There'll be other people that will take something completely different, which will be maybe a network marketing type thing, like utility warehouse. But having that full-time income will give you that confidence to be able to branch out into the part-time stuff, the part-time business, and build that up. While you're building that up to a position where you can overtake your income by 2 times with your full-time job, that'll give you that security and that peace of mind to then go full-time business. And even drop down the job to part-time if you want to, so you can still keep an income going in. Or if you want to, take a career break while you focus on your business. If you build up a 6-month reserve from your part-time business, just to support you while you're building up your business even more, still take that career break just in case, if you feel, what, I'm not 100% confident with this, but I'm going to give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, at least I've got something to go back to. There's nothing wrong with having a safety net. And there's too many people out there that feel, no, it's all or nothing. And that's because, unfortunately, they've been fed with these wonderful ideas that I went out there, I had zero, £2 to my name, went to this country and made a great life for myself. That's the immigrant story that we've all been fed. But, your generation, my generation, we aren't the immigrants. We are, in this place. So we can take full advantage of these kind of situations now. So have that part-time business, build yourself up, build up your confidence, keep building up your knowledge, get yourself to a position where you've got good client bank as well as funds in reserve, and then you can take that decision to go, okay, I'm going to jump off.
It's very good advice. Thank you. So what do you think the most common reason why most people fail or give up?
The most common reason, that is also another big thing. Right, so common reasons will be lack of mentor. If you don't have a mentor, you're not going to be guided through it. but even having a mentor, you're feeding off their energy. A lack of information, not being able to find the information or keep your knowledge up to date, then you know what? Other people will overtake you. And the final key thing is your own belief. If your belief is very quickly damaged by any challenges, then yes, you're going to feel, okay, I can't overcome these hurdles. I made a mistake. I'm going to go back to what I want to do in the first, to my job and settle for that. You have to have a goal. And that goal is going to be reinforced with your beliefs. You can write your goals down and put them on a piece of paper, stick up on the wall. But after a period of time, the goals will just become words and will have no meaning, especially if you don't see it. You've got to have different techniques to be able to visualize it, make it so vivid that you can feel it, touch it, go for it, grab it, have those feelings so that way you can actually aspire to it. And guess what? The mentors will come along the way. Whether you seek them out online, whether you pay for them as coaches, so on and so forth, go out, and go out your comfort zone. People don't tend to go out of their comfort zones. So as times change and what happens is challenges come through, if you're still stuck in your comfort zone, you're not expanding your knowledge enough, you will not be able to adapt to the challenges. And obviously, that's helped people fail.
Yeah, I think you highlight a good point there in the importance of, people getting out of the comfort zone and taking action. Because if you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. And then also the importance of really managing their own self-beliefs, because a lot of times it is people's mindset that holds them back from creating a business.
Yeah.
And it's really important that they are able to manage themselves in a way so that those beliefs don't hold them back.
I will also say something else as well. Mental blocks do happen. Mental blocks happen in many areas, and one of the areas that it happened to me. So again, going out there seeking those mentors, sometimes even having someone to talk to. That you have, they all start connecting together. Because there is a big thing. If you don't have a person that you can actually offload on, it's going to be difficult, especially as you're working business by yourself. A lot of people are sole traders. They're the experts in their industry, but they may not be able to relate to anyone else outside of that industry. So you need someone so that you can liaise with.
Totally agree with you there. So we can't not talk about COVID-19 because it's affecting many industries. It's causing business to go out on money, people to experience real financial hardships, and it's causing business to have to adapt their way of getting their message out there, their strategy, and engaging with clients. So what has COVID-19 done for your business, and how have you had to adapt in order to remain competitive?
Increase my knowledge of technology and more application of technology. So the message is always there because people will always buy from people. It's just getting you in front of those people. Whether you do it over the phone, whether you do it online, whether you do it through what we're doing right now with lives. I've done a couple of Facebook Lives, led to more business. I've done a couple of online presentations with people on a one-to-one basis. It's led to, utility warehouse-wise, more people coming into it or being interested in. So it's learning that you, as a business owner, have got a skill. You are the expert for yourself. It's now getting that message out there to the wider audience. It's an understanding that the wider audience has got that ability to listen to you as well. But again, it all comes down to interpersonal relationships. Social media, brilliant. Better marketing tool. All it's there to do is just open up the door so that you can have that chat with your clients. Because again, people will buy from people. They're not going to buy from a software. They're not going to buy from a program. But videos and stuff like that will help to break down the barriers that will allow a conversation to take place.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that, because especially with people at home and they're bored and they don't have much to do, being able to really cater your message and get it out more by also making yourself more visible on social media is definitely a way, especially now because most people scale back their marketing, and it's really cheap right now to advertise on Facebook or Instagram, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
the perfect time to like really ramp up your communication and get your service out there. And I think a
Not,
lot of people aren't doing that.
well, not only that, I've started a podcast series called Tea with the Tycoon. It's out on Anchor at the moment, and more episodes will be coming out on a weekly basis. But it gave me that freedom to say, reassess things and start saying, okay, time to put all the things I had that I was putting off because I was dealing with other things into action. That will get me more income as well. You're not wasting your time if you start thinking, okay, this is going to help me generate either a lead, it's going to generate me a referral, it's going to generate me income. What do I need to do? How quick can I do it? Let me get it out of the way now. So thankfully, got those podcasts out of the way. I will be also doing my YouTube channel and all the videos on those as well, and getting the videos out there too. Just, it was a matter of editing. So now I've got that time to be able to do that. If you constantly have access to knowledge and you're holding that knowledge back for yourself, not sharing it out with anyone else, then yes, that knowledge is going to die with you. If you get that knowledge out to everyone, then you know what? It's going to stay out there. And you're right, meditation with yoga does help to break mental blocks as well. Mina, 31 Barbie, a shout out to everyone. Thanks for joining in. Also, happy Ramadan to everyone. Khair Mubarak. Sorry, just had to get that there.
That's totally fine. So it's very easy for a lot of people right now in this current climate to feel unmotivated, suffer with lack of productivity. What is your secret right now to keeping motivated when things get hard?
Right. So this actually happened to me 2 weeks ago. And what I reached out on social media. And I reached out and asked the question. From that, I had one person reach back to me, say, you know what, let's schedule a call. Zoe Knight is her name. She's a coach as well. And she actually came out, but she's a life coach. She came out and gave me a half an hour Zoom chat. Turned into 1 hour. After that 1 hour, it got all the information that I need to declutter out. And then from that, the motivation just suddenly came back. Now, with other people, it's going to be a different matter. They may need 2-3 sessions. They may need constant, help. At the end of the day, it's down to the individual, for getting out of their lack of motivation. Sometimes it can just take a phone call. Just with the right person. It's like the confessions with the priest. Just to get it out there, to absolve yourself and purge yourself out of all the impurities that you may have, so you can free up your mind and have those neural connections with your physiology to get out and do what you need to do. The biggest issue that we've all got with social media is someone is always doing better than you on social media, and you're wondering why isn't it not me? I wish I could be doing that. You can't keep comparing yourself to other people. But if you do that, then that's going to keep tearing away at you. And that's why it's very important that you use the right social media tools to help you. So have on your feed with coaching, have on your news feed positive messages that reinforce what you're doing. So join groups that will be able to help back everything up that you need to back up. As an example, I'm with a Facebook mastery group on Facebook ads. I'm with an SEO group, because I lack certain knowledge, but these guys will help me build up that knowledge. So it helps me build up my confidence. I'm not on a model group. I know I'm very good looking, but I'm not on one of those yet.
I think you're highlighting again the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yeah,
making sure that you are getting support, whether it's from business networks or from a mentor. And because I think a lot of times people will surround themselves with the wrong people, and they'll hear voices that don't really support them, or they'll go for advice from people who might be less successful than them or the same level, and it doesn't really help them progress.
And that happened to me in the beginning as well. Certain people who I did go to didn't have the necessary knowledge. But again, you have to make that first step. And the first step is the most difficult step. But when you make that first step, everything else falls into place. So yes, go to negative people if you want to, but understand that there's one voice. If they're not giving you what you want because you're not keeping an open mind, then of course you're not, you're just going to be tunnel vision. You've got to keep an open mind. So you've got to get information from different areas. use your ability, make your mistakes by all means. There's nothing wrong in making a mistake because you will learn from that mistake, you know? And one of the biggest mistakes is I listened to the wrong guy. But guess what? It's okay because you learn from that. You're going to find who the right guy is. If you listen to the wrong guy and it failed, well, it's okay. You're still alive. You still got your health. You're still okay. As long as you've got your mental faculties about you, you've got an ability to do things. Even with technology, if you haven't got your physical health, you know, no hands, no legs, you've still got voice recognition technology. Our technologies move so rapidly. There's nothing really to stop us from doing what we need to do, except for our own mindset.
That's very good. I agree with all you're saying there. So what do you think has been the biggest failure you've had maybe the last year or since when you started, and why do you think it happened?
My biggest failure was I held myself back. And that was, again, because the complaint came in, knocked me for 6. And by having, I'm just going to read this very quickly. By maintaining distance from social media, as we concentrate on social media, we can't live full lives as we just click and pick. Right, then what I need to stress with that is what I said a couple of minutes ago. This is very important. If your social media news feeds are filled up with photographs of people that don't really matter to you, that are not your interest, then of course it's going to be a waste of time. If you start putting in the things that are going to be relevant to you, you start joining the groups that are relevant to you, you start turning it into a marketing tool that's relevant to you, it becomes something that you can actually utilize as a tool to get more people in to help you. That way you don't become depressed. There's too many communities out there. One of the communities I was a part of is for networking, because I was an area leader for networking, where it got people together from different professions and passed referrals around. Crucial for people who are self-employed, just to get out and intermingle with different people. It also helps develop a lot of social skills. And more importantly, when you do find that client that wants to listen to you, you're able to hold their attention in the first 30 to 60 seconds. You can close those deals. So I had to address that because that's, for me, a crucial thing. Now, when we looked at, my biggest failure, yeah?
Yeah.
So, it was, again, you know, just getting swept up with the wrong things. So when that complaint happened, not having the right people around me, being by myself, not being able to know how to address it, I came out. And one of the guys who I had around me saying, oh, if you get a complaint, then your career is messed up and over and done with. I started talking to the right people. They said, look, complaints happen all the time. It happens all the time. It doesn't mean that it will kill you. All it means is we'll just address it, take care of it. It doesn't mean that it stops you. It's if you've done something which is fraudulent, if you've done something which is really bad, then yes. You know, but even then, it doesn't stop you from ever doing your business if you learn from it. If you continue to keep doing the same thing again and again, yeah, then, you know, you're a criminal, you should be out of the industry. But if you've done it as a one-off, if you've done it by mistake, you know, you're allowed to recover from that. So that, for me, is the importance of having someone around me that I can communicate with all the time, you know, even through social media networks, because I was able to get introductions to those people that would help me through the terrible times. Hell, we don't even know each other. We knew each other through a Facebook group. And it's from the same Facebook group where you came out and said, you know, we're part of this. We've done the same course. Let's do it.
Definitely. So I know you've elaborated this already. Are there any resources that have really helped you to really grow along the journey?
Everything's helped me along the way. Facebook, YouTube, talking to people, learning, you know, courses that are for free, like the SEO courses that I've done. They were free of charge, you know. But then I was able to seek those out. Yeah, and if you really want that knowledge, you'll find it, you know. But if you have to pay for it, by all means, you know, have a price tag that you feel is worth it and keep it in that budget, you know. But if you do that, you make sure you dedicate yourself to studying. You know, resources are around us all the time. It's just having our antennas turned on, tuned in, so we can get those access to those resources. And the same thing happens with leads, and the same thing happens with, you know, referrals. We've got referrals and leads all around us. We just haven't put our antenna on to tune into it.
Definitely. So we know what you are very good at. What's one person thing you're not good at?
Well, you know what? I'm how can I put this? I'm not very good at being modest. And, you know, if you got it, you flaunt it. So sometimes having a bit of humility and not being arrogant, knowing the difference between confidence and arrogance is a big thing because the lines can blur so quickly. But if you're confident and can help people, that's fine. You know, I think the one thing I'm not really good at is making the laws of attraction work for me in the right way. I mean, I want to be like the stud and have all the girls around me. You know? But the laws of attraction flipped it and sent all the guys around me. To me, you know, the gay guys think I'm chocolate to them, especially milk chocolate. So I love you gays, don't worry. Especially if you're my clients and paying me, definitely. But yeah, that's basically it. You know, trying to stay as humble as you can. But sometimes you have to brag. Sometimes if people around you are not giving you recognition, you have to give yourself recognition. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. You have to look at how good you've been, what the journey is that you've taken, and more importantly, having that amazing feeling of how far you've come will get you past the most difficult journeys ahead.
Thank you. So this is going to be 2 questions.
Yeah, sure.
The first one is, what's next for you? And the second one is, how can people work with you and reach you?
Okay, so I've got my website out there, my social media on Facebook as well. Even on here at the Tycoon 2, you can reach me from here. By doing this live now, it's giving me more confidence to actually learn this platform now, Instagram, and do lives on this. How can people reach me? You can reach me even on my website, which is hadi.naqui.com. But we'll be giving out all the other stuff a little bit later on. I know Wahome will help out on this one. What's next for me? So next for me is now to get my YouTube channel up and running more better by getting the stuff edited up and sent in there. But not YouTube, but all the other social media platforms that are out there as well, Dailymotion, Patreon, those kinds of things, and start building up an income source from there. Giving out mortgage advice, wrestling advice, you know, pro wrestling, because you know, I want to get more books. And again, social media and some of the other bits and pieces out there. Doing more Facebook Lives, because at the end of the day, there's people out there who want help, but may not be able to, you know, how can I say this, contact you via certain methods. They may not have access to that, or they may not have the time to do that, but they will have time to watch it live and watch it at their sort of, how can I put this, at their pacing, their timing. When I first started doing Facebook Lives as a tycoon, it took my fan page from 10 fans up to over 200 fans. Then I kept on building it up, and that was in a week. Then I got to 500 fans and 700 fans. So it's good. It helps to interact. And I started getting more bookings from that. So I stopped doing the Facebook Lives. But there's so many different platforms out there that, you know, people can actually be reached on. It's just having that time, the discipline, focus, sitting down and doing it. That's where coaches come along. That's where having mentors there who know this industry will help out. When COVID-19 and the lockdown does finish, then again, everything goes back to a state of semi-normality. You know, you're going to have bigger crowds. But by that point, you will have learned enough to be able to say, okay, right, I didn't do that before COVID-19, but I can do this now. You know, and you know, don't have any regrets. If you do have a regret, it's okay. Learn from it. That way you absolve all the period, you know, the past issues that you've had, and you move forward.
So what final piece of advice would you give to people who wanted to start a business?
You can be one of 2 types of people. The first type of person is, to hell with it, I'm going to do it and go wholeheartedly into it no matter what. And the other one is, I'm going to super analyze everything, wait until the time is right, the stars line up and the moon is here, and then I've got, Cthulhu just floating around the atmosphere. I know at that point the business is right time. Don't worry about it. You need to have both. You need to have a little bit of knowledge about your business. You need to have a little bit of confidence, and you need to have that go-getter attitude. You need to have it all in one. A cake is not made with just flour by itself. You need ingredients. And again, every time that you start making something, the first time that you do it, it's going to be bad. Second time that you do it, you get better at it. Third time, fourth time, and this is how it works within business as well. So as you start doing things more and more, don't worry about making a mistake. The tools will come along the way that you will need to become more successful. But you just got to make that first move, but make it with calculation. Protect yourself. Don't do it. I'm going to go all guns blazing, jump out there. Well, if you've got something that needs to be protected, like a family, like a mortgage, like a property, anything that needs to be protected, you need to hold yourself back just that little bit until you've got enough adequate security behind you to be able to say, yep, I can go all out. That's the Tony Robbins thing. It's the 3 pots principle. One pot is security, one pot is your necessity, and the final pot is your dream. You put, whichever you want more, you put your money into those pots. So you need to know what your security, your necessities are. Hence why doing the budget, make sure you got the money for the month. If you believe more in security because you don't know what's going to happen with the market, put more money in your security. So you build up, so you save up if anything does go wrong. And then you put a little bit of money into your dreams. If your dreams are more important, then you put more money into that. And that way you're fully protected no matter what happens. And that's the same principle you got to apply if you're going to go into business. One pot with knowledge, one pot with go getting, and the other pot with just do it.
Love that. And I'll finish in this. My final point would be, also along with what you're saying, is to ensure that you're surrounding yourself with the right people. So join relevant networks, join groups that will allow you to motivate yourself, progress, and allow you to have more knowledge. And it's really important, even with your inner circle, that you have people around you who are successful, ambitious, that people you can look up to that are going to help you grow, and that you cut out the people who are negative that are going to hold you back.
Even if they're close family and friends and they're negative to you, that's fine. You can still have that relationship with them. Just don't tell them everything. That's for you. That's your plans, because they may be comfortable. It's the crab in the bucket scenario. The crab is in the bucket. There's always these crabs that are going to be in a bucket, and one crab is going to realize, okay, I can get out of this bucket. Goes right to the top, and then other crabs bring that crab back down. It's not because they hate that crab. It's just they may feel lonely without that crab. So there's a big difference there. Have your relationships, but just like how we compartmentalize where we put our clothes in a cupboard, the same thing is what you got to do with relationships as well. You've got to compartmentalize that. So with your clients, it's got to be one type of relationship. You've got to have that professional relationship. With your friends and family, you need to understand that some of them will not be happy to hear your stories of how successful you are. They don't care about it because their work may not necessarily be as fulfilling as yours is. So understand that principle. And then there's those people out there that are, you know what, you think you're better than me? Come on, man, let's do this. Come on, come up with me. Let's see you reach as far as I do. Those are the guys who are going to be your mentors. They're going to coach you. They're going to give you the advice. More importantly, they want to see you up at the top of that mountain with them because they're lonely too. There's plenty of space at the top. Everyone who goes into this world is a winner. And that's what Robert Kiyosaki first taught. We're not losers. We're all winners. We only become losers if we say we're losers because we've lost our way. That's all it means. We've lost our way. So we need to find our way to be able to get to where we want to be. Have your goals, have your ambitions, have your dreams, have your security, keep grounded, work with right actions that are based within reality. Don't think, okay, I'm going to be a CEO of a multinational company and not put in the work that you need to do to be able to get there. you know. So as an example, I said I'm going to be a non-executive director. I'm going to sit on a company. Well, I haven't put in the work that I need to do to be a non-executive director. How are you going to give me a job?
Mm-hmm. Very true.
So you've got to know that there's an action plan along the way as well. And you've got to follow that plan. There's a script for you. You've got to do it. Whether you set that script down or whether it's defined by what your goals are, you still need to do it. And again, when I said the very first thing you've got to do is take action, you've got to take a step, because it's the hardest thing that you're going to do. You can be bogged down with over-analysis. You can bog down with, I'm going to go wholeheartedly and I'll be successful. And then the first hurdle hits and you've not trained yourself to be able to overcome that hurdle. Then what? You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to have mental blocks. You're going to feel defeated before you've even started. So all these things, you need to have a bit of knowledge and you need to have a lot of guts.
Totally agree with you. Thank you for joining us today. And you're giving amazing wisdom and really good advice for anyone who's going to be watching this now or watch this later. We wish you all the best in all your endeavors, and we look forward to you skyrocketing over the next year.
Thank you. Again, it's been an absolute pleasure for me being here as well. And guys, you know what, Wahome, I've seen a lot of your videos out there. I know that you're a fabulous coach too, and I know that you're going to be getting, you know, from these sessions and seminars, you get a lot of people coming towards you that will need your help.
Thank you. So I wish you the best and look forward to seeing you, like I said, skyrocket over the next year. Have an amazing Sunday. Everyone else watching, have an amazing weekend. And there'll be more business conversations and interviews coming up. Otherwise, pleasure to have you, Hadi, and see everyone soon.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.